So, have you ever wanted to make gold by riding on your Griffin? Well, there's a good way to do that now. Okay, and it actually may be better if we get more adventures in the next expansion, which would be pretty fun. But right now, you can make around 50 gold per hour by doing all the adventures on Griffin. They're very fast, they're very fun, and you can weave them together in order to, make a good speedrun that takes around, 20 minutes on the high side. And, I made it around, I think my best one was 17 minutes and 11 seconds, which is pretty cool, right? Now, how do you do it? Well, the thing that makes you the most money in this run is actually spirit shards. And how do you get spirit shards? By doing experience. And how do you transform spirit shards into gold? Well, if you want to do that, you're going to have to go into the description and check all the ways that you can transform spirit shards into gold. Each spirit shard is around 1 gold, and you get around 12 to 13 spirit shards in one of these runs in around 20 minutes, which in the high side, which makes it, I think... So this run essentially gives you 15 gold each time. And depending on how fast you make it, it will be more or higher. It will be more or less the amount of per hour. Because of course, if it takes longer, you'll get less gold per hour. If you take it faster, it'll become better gold per hour. I have made it at 17 minutes. So 17 divided by 16, that's my best time. With a bunch of practice, but I think it's definitely doable for most people. 60 divided by 17, that's what it is. The times 15 gold, that makes it 50 gold per hour if you make it in 17 minutes, which is a lot, but I think it's more realistic to get something like 15 gold every 20 minutes. 60 divided by 20, that's 3, so times 3, 45 gold per hour, and that's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good for a spirit for a random Griffon adventure. Okay, so it gives you actually a good amount of gold, right? As you can see right here. Now, how do you get this experience? The way you do it is by getting your experience booster that you can get by using your Candy Corn Gobbler, Heroic Booster, Experience Booster, or all this too. You want to essentially have only the boosters that have O on it. Otherwise, the experience will not get boosted from the adventures. So as you can see, the experience booster, you have it here. You also want your, Winter's Blessing. You can only get this by doing, sadly, by doing the, by it being Winter's Day. So it's not really relevant right now. Ascended Feast provide a 5% all experiences gained in 10 World's World experience gain, so you want an Ascended Feast as well, which will be very good. You can get the birthday one that, most people, I have, but maybe not most people. You can get the birthday one that is free, right? Of course. Blessings of the New Year, you can only get this by it being the Lunar Festival, so you can't really count on it. Bloodstone Experiment, that doesn't count because that's only for Bloodstone Fan. Draconic Mons also doesn't count because you only get it by Draconic Mons. And of course, you also have the empowerment that it will be used. So I would actually recommend to going to every one of the Living War Season 4 maps, talk to the currency vendor, and ask for the empowerment buff. That is a bit of a expensive investment. It's not that cheap, but it is definitely worth it because not only you'll get more experience from doing these Griffin races, but also every time you're in these maps. So every meta you do, you'll get more experience. Therefore, more gold, more spirit shards. You also want the guild experience guild bonus from the tavern in your guild hall. If you don't have one, you can just join any of them, and most of the guild halls that are upgraded should have this one. Of course, in the tavern, you just have to talk to them and get the XP gain. And you also want the alignment buff from monastery training that you can get by going to Sidon Province, going to this heart right here in training grounds, and doing it very fast. You get 5 hours of this, I'm pretty sure, and you just get it for a long time, which is 20% up experience, which is it's a lot, right? And you also want a rested buff that you get by resting in a random chair for a long time, or by logging off on your character on Arborstone. This will give you the resting buff that lasts for 4 hours, and you'll get a 25 experience boost, which is a lot, and you really, really do want it, right? Now, after getting this, you essentially just have to go to each of the adventures and do them in a row. Now, what is the route? Essentially, I'm gonna give you a little. I'm gonna essentially post in the description a photo of how I make the run. Things might change and I might update it eventually, but for now, this is gonna be the run. And what you do is you start on Desert Highlands. On the adventure that you have right here, you actually want to climb, you know, to the waypoint, climb to this little tower, and get to the Griffin Master right here. And actually, I'm gonna show you how I do this because it's a bit of a weird one. Okay, what you want to do here is do this. You want to get to this little, you know, to your bunny. We have the practice run. Oh, let me mute myself. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Okay, let's you essentially get in here. You use your bunny, you use your Griffin, and you pass through. As you can see right there, I passed through the Griffin race and it popped out the play button very fast, and I clicked on it, so that way I can get a bit of a head start, because this one is a bit of a hard one, right? And that way you start, and you want to start on this one, because if you fuck it up, well, for me, I want to start on this one because honestly, I wanted to get the speedrun perfectly, so I didn't want to have to reset each time. Imagine if this was in the middle of the run, I would have to restart each time I fucked this part off, because it's a bit of a hard one to make work. So, but you know, you can start whenever you want. Actually, you could also have because climbing up to this tower is a bit of an annoyance, as you can see. So you can have essentially a part character here, so you don't have to do this every time, which will make your profits definitely better, right? Definitely way better, right? But that being said, you start here, you do the full adventure, you get towards here, you go here, and you'll end up around here in this place when you end the adventure. That's very close to the next adventure on the map. So you want to use the advantage in speed to climb back up and get to this place, then do the next adventure, and then go to the next place. Then you want to get to here, to Temple of Cormyr waypoint, climb back up towards this Griffin race. You do it, boop, you reset your adventure, which will teleport you back here. Then you can have two options here. I honestly prefer this, prefer essentially resetting and using my Griffin to travel all the way up here. It essentially takes me around 50 seconds. But you can also teleport to here instead of resetting the adventure. Teleporting here, using your roller beetle to get to here, and then sky scale up. But honestly, it takes around the same amount of time, and this one's a bit riskier because you can fuck it up very badly, honestly. And I honestly, personally, I would rather just use the Griffin because it's a bit easier, and there's no way you fuck it up, right? Then you go to Endless Riverlands. You get to this All Asher's Oasis Camp waypoint. You use your roll beetle to get to this one. You essentially want to go through here, all the way down here. And there's going to be this little portal, Sandswept, this little jackal portal that will take to climb up the tower. And then I can just show you, right? And then you'll climb back up. There it is. Look at that. You climb back up. Use your bunny. You get there. And you use the Griffin to start the adventure. You do the adventure, and then you reset. You reset the adventure. Oh, let me show this here. You reset the adventure in order to appear back at the top of the tower, and you use the little boost. And you use the little bunny to get a big height and get to the next one. Look at that, perfect. That is right here on the left side. You climb this little, there's also going to be a big tower, a little bit of a pillar that you're going to have to climb up, just like you saw there. Just, get out of the Griffin. Oh, by the way, in order to get out of the Griffin, do not use your Wand of Faith, okay? That honestly will essentially, unless, because whenever you use Wand of Faith, you will get launched upwards, but then it will give a cooldown to get into the next time you get into your mount. So it is way better to just dismount and remount, right? Just dismount out of your Griffin, get into your sky scale instead. Unless, for example, if I were to use Bond of Faith right now, it would probably launch me upwards enough so I can get into the tower, which honestly would be worth it because I don't have to remount. I just get into the. Look at that! I just did that. I didn't know that I did that. That was perfect, right? That's the only way you should. That's the only time you should use Bond of Faith. Then you just do the next Griffin race, and then after you're done with that one, you go to the Desolation. It is very imperative to have a Wand of Vigor up for whenever you get into this waypoint, because there's gonna be essentially a very annoying, course here. There you go. I'm just gonna show it right now. You're gonna have to essentially spam your spacebar to get to this jackal portals, otherwise you'll get in combat, and it really, really sucks. You want to just completely obliterate, this path by just getting teleported. Very easy, right? And not getting combat, that way you don't have to wait to get out of combat to do this Griffin race. You do this one, it's very easy. You want to end it, blah, 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 you do it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you end up with that one. You reset the adventure at the end, right? As you can see, you get teleported to here as well again. And then you use your bunny and your boost, your jade boost, that you actually have your both of your jade boosters upgraded, so you can climb one for getting a better round of vigor, and essentially to get more stamina, one user amount, and another one for your booster to be going higher. This race, you want to have these 2 boosters on your jade bolt. Mount energy booster in here, essentially boost your mount energy radiation by 20%. You can get number 1, number 2, or number 3. It honestly doesn't matter. As long as you have one, you're good. And this one is the most important. Jade Assistant Gliding Booster 2. Increase the vertical height of your jade bot's gliding booster ability. I have the booster 2. Honestly, I should have the booster 3, but this one's will do. Honestly, to be honest, like, you don't really need them, but it will make the race so much faster and so much easier. So just get them. They're very cheap, and it's more fun to do it anyway. So there you go. And then you essentially go through here. There's 2 options that you can make here. I think, as you can see, there's 2. Essentially, you want to go towards this point that I have marked in this video, but also you can see where is it? You want to go towards this place, right? And there's a few ways of doing this, right? Man, it's not loading. It's very annoying. But you essentially want to go through. You can go through these 2 places, toward this gap or towards this gap. They're both gonna be fine. Honestly, they're both okay ways of doing it. Essentially, you want to they're just both fun, right? You just essentially want to be very careful about not hitting the floor so you don't lose your speed, of course. Right now I'm at 90. It's very, very good, right? As you can see, I used one of vigor as well in order to be a bit faster. And then you climb back up very fast. Then you want to probably go into your sky skull and climb up this way. Honestly, this was probably not the best way of doing it. I think I might have, I think I didn't make any mistakes, but I think you can definitely make it, a bit faster by just not fucking up the Griffin a little bit. But there you go. Then you do this race, this Griffin race is honestly a bit tricky, so I'm just gonna watch it right here. And you can, of course, I'll put the full run at the end so you can see how I make every one of the Griffin races. If you have any suggestions on how to do it better, definitely tell me. I start opening the map so I can, even before I'm at the end, so I can skip a little time. And then you go to the Manifestan, of course, which is the next one. Right here on Challenge Dunks. And you want to go through this place, right? You want to go through here to here to here. This is a bit of an asshole. It was a bit a hard one, right? With your roller beetle to get very fast, and then when you're here, you want to collect you get into your sky skull, grab the little volatile magic that you can see on the air. They'll use essentially to replenish your vigor and be a bit faster. As you can see here, I grab it, I use it to launch myself forward. I kind of fuck it up here. Instead of actually getting there, I would have been way faster if I would just, got into the little ledge. I would have been faster, and I would have to wait a little bit too much. Be very careful. Honestly, I shouldn't have done that. I did win Bond of Faith there for no reason, honestly. And I almost got attacked by one of the ads. And if that would have happened, I probably would have lost like 20 seconds trying to get out of the combat, which is very, very much sucks. But yeah, there you go. You get to the top. You do the little Griffin race. You do it very fast. Then you reset at the end. And you use the height to get a lot of speed from your Griffin in order to get to the next one, which is right here. I would actually not recommend using your jade boost like I did here. The height is not really that relevant. You just want to honestly just use the Griffin and get not even using the bunny, honestly, and get towards this place. You'll get it fast enough anyways. You'll save a little bit of time. Then you do this one, which is honestly one of the hardest ones, but you can watch the video at the end on how I made it. And when you're done, you go towards Sandsop Isles, which is right here. As you can see here, let me see the video, right? Let me see the video. When I'm doing this one, actually, let me give you a little bit of advice. In this one, in this Griffin race, I would actually recommend it very, very heavily to be very careful about this first checkpoint. To want to do one flap, not more, and get very easily to very high without going actually up. but instead of just not going down enough. So you actually climb back up this part, which is very, very hard, right? Because right now you have to climb up a lot, and if you climb up too much, you'll lose a lot of speed. Look at that. I actually could have done that way better. I'm at 58%, not good. And then you want to just go down, just do one flap, and then get back up easily here, and be very careful here to not hit the ground, of course. In here, I didn't do, yeah, I know that I'm gonna get it, so I'm just gonna start teleporting towards the map, right? I want to close the window very fast, of course. And then you get to Sands of Palace. This one's a bit harder one, actually. I actually got a new idea that I think it's better, the way I do it right here. Essentially, at the top, you can't see right here, but at the top of here, there's a few volatile magic. So if you use your sky skill in order to get there, and use your boost with your sky skill, you'll essentially replenish it again, which will make you way faster and be able to get to the top of the tower, which is of the big structure that you want to get into here, right? And this, actually, I'm pretty sure I get damaged. I do get damaged, therefore I have to lose the combat in order to get back to the sky skill. So I lose a little bit of time, which is not good, but it's not a big of a deal. As you can see, I get into my sky skill anyways and climb back up anyways. If I would have done the other way around, though, I would have already been at the top by this time, so I do lose a bit of time because of this. That being said, it's still okay, and I make it to the top with no problem. There's ways to definitely save. When there's a mistake like this, there's always ways to actually save it at the end. Then you just do this one, which is honestly a bit hard one as well. You should always honestly pay attention to this one, because you're gonna have to go up, then down, then up and down. It's very, very weird Griffin race, but you should definitely. With a bit of practice, you'll make it work very easily, very fast, right? Then you get to Domain of Babi. On this side, on Jet and the Avalanche, on this part of the map. Oh. Right here, right? Jet and the Village. And I'll show you how to do this. You actually start with the sky skill in this one in order to get a lot of height, in order to get to the Griffin race that is right here, which it's very, very far away, and it's very, very high. So you want to essentially climb up the little mountain here in order to make it up there. It's loading very, very slowly. Yeah, so as you can see, I appear there, I go backwards, I go into my sky skill, I start using the little, the little ledges to get a bit of height. I get to the top, then oh, look at that. This is very important. I look upwards. This is what Penguin told me. I look upwards and I start using my boost. This way, I'll climb up very, very heavily. Then I use Wand of Vigor again and do it again. And then get out, use my booster, use my Griffin. You get a lot of speed, okay? I'm going very, very fast, and I can climb up into the adventure that is at the top, right? And I use the sky skill in order to get there, right? And then, well, I essentially just do the adventure with no problem, right? I just do the adventure. Oh, but at the end of this adventure, you have to climb back up this entire mountain. And in order to after you're done with this, there's two options actually. You can dismount your Griffin, get into your sky skill, and get those little bolts of magic that you can see here. Right, you can see there, and you can essentially just boost yourself upwards to the next one, which is right here on the bottom side of the. Oh man, this doesn't load. On the bottom side, as you can see, you essentially will be end up around here. So you want to you can just use the Griffin. Use the sky skill to go through there and get to here, or as I started doing, which I think is better, essentially is just use my Griffin instead. Use the height that I got from all this for this big adventure. And get towards the Griffin race right here. Maybe you will not get enough of this of a height to do this, but with one flap it should be enough. If not, you can always just use the sky skill instead. Then just do this adventure, since it's not a big of a deal. And you reset it at the end. You get to the end of the Griffin race, you reset it. And this is kind of an interesting one. This time I will not waypoint towards the next place, which is Domain of Korna. I will not. I will instead go towards the portal right here on the bottom of this place, of Jahai Bluffs, because I get teleported right here, right? And the adventure is very close to there. Instead of me trying to teleport towards there, and get there. Instead, I just go through here and get to the Griffin race very, very fast, right? As you can see, let me show you how I go. I just go through here, through this little, desert part on the left side, and I essentially aim towards the portal to go to Domain of Corna, right? It's very, very fast, and it's way better. There you go. I get there. Oh, that took a bit too much time. 1 second. I teleport, right? I wait for the loading screen. And then that one take a little bit of time, right? Then I just get into my sky skill, use a little bit of the vigor. Actually, I don't think I should have used the vigor right there. That was a mistake. But I get to this little top, and then I use the sky skill, and then get into my Griffin to get to the next Griffin race. Then I climb back up. Then I sky skill again to climb the little ledge there. And I do the next one, right? After this one, you actually don't want to reset either. You want to use all the boost and all the speed that you got from this Griffin adventure to get to the next spot and climb this big mountain that you can see on the at the end of the here to get to the next adventure. That one is actually pretty annoying to do. This climbing this is pretty annoying. You have to essentially lose a lot of the speed and essentially just do it with sky skill, because otherwise it's just a complete disaster, right? Yeah, you want to essentially go through it towards this. You will end up around here, and then you'll essentially have to climb this huge mountain to get to this the Cormac Griffin Master adventure. As you can see here, it's very, very boring. It's kind of annoying. Maybe one day I'll figure out another way of doing this, but yeah, you just want to climb back. You just want to climb here and get to the top. And then that is actually the last of the adventures of Griffin that you can do. And after this adventure, you're done. Let's just see it, because, well, no, I can just skip it, right? Like, just do the adventure. Honestly, it's very, very fast. Oh, let's actually see it completely, because there's a few things that you want to take care of, right? I think the biggest one is like knowing which way to point towards. You want to point southwards, right? Like I'm doing right now. Hit play, go down, and get as much speed as you can, but also not get, like for example here, you want to essentially get as high as possible as you can, but while still getting the checkpoint, and flap at the end. So you get double flaps, because each time you get into one of the checkpoints, you'll get your vigor back. So that way you can get a bit of more height, right? As you can see now, I actually didn't get enough of height. Oh no, yeah, I had to actually climb back up and lose a little bit of speed, which is not ideal. And you can definitely make it so that doesn't happen. If you have a bond of vigor on, then you have to climb back up. And I would do a flap here to get full speed right here. And I would cut that little corner, honestly, there. And then, honestly, from here on out, it's just complete, just straightforward. It's very easy to get to the next place, right? I lost a little bit of speed there because I just wanted to be sure. I didn't want to fuck it up at the end. Wait, actually, I make 16 minutes instead. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. 16 minutes. Insanely fast. Insanely fast. I remember now why I made the calculations the way I did. It was because, actually, yeah, sure, I made 16 minutes there, but it takes me around 1 minute of time in order to climb the first tower, this tower. So I put that into the calculation in order to actually, get a good amount of, a perfect goal per hour. But that's the run. I will have a map of how to actually, I will have a map on how to actually do the full run, on the description, so you never are confused on where to go or whatever. But that's the way you do it. You get at the end essentially 15 gold for each of these runs, and actually depending on how you use spirit shards, it can actually be more. I counted one spirit shard as 1 gold, because honestly that's the fastest way to do it and is the easiest way to do it. You can do it in other ways, of course, but I make essentially 1 spirit shard become like 2 gold or 3 gold, which would make this Griffin race way better per gold per hour. But of course I'm not gonna do it because not everyone does that, and it requires a bit more time as well, so it would be a little bit disingenuous for me to do that. But 1 gold is completely doable and very easy to do, and requires almost no time, right? But there you go, that's how you do it. Tell me what you guys think about this. Tell me if you have any strategies to make it a bit faster. Subscribe to the channel, check us around, and thank you from Penguin and Willow for making this possible, because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't know that this was possible, and I wouldn't been able to make this video. So thank you. Bye bye, guys. Have a good one.